Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jillian Liota. I'm a contemporary small town romance author. And today I want to talk a little bit about quarter one. It is April 1st. The new quarter has officially begun. But before I jump into all the excitement of what's to come, I want to make sure I take some time to reflect on the first quarter of the year and think about the successes that I had to make sure that I really feel proud of the things I accomplished, but also to look at the things I didn't get done, as well as the reason why I didn't get those things done. Because it's important to reflect on that so that I don't allow those hurdles to get in my way again in the future. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. I hope you're excited. Let's get started. Georgia's in the middle of this really crazy rain thunderstorm thing going on right now. So if you hear thunder in the background, that's what's going on. Also, I am terrified of lightning and thunder and wind and rain. It just totally freaks me out. I don't like storms. So I might be a little jumpy, but that's okay. We'll get through it. We'll get through it together, you and me. Okay, so first on the list was the most important thing that I was supposed to get done last quarter, and that was complete Hawthorne Vines book 3. And I did not complete that. And that is something that is so frustrating to me, but I literally only have myself to blame. Sure, I can think about the fact that I was dealing with some health stuff, so I was a little mentally distracted. I allowed myself to have squirrel syndrome by jumping on other projects I was more excited about. But realistically, I just did not prioritize writing the way that I should have. Something that I'm hoping to do this quarter to avoid going another quarter without completing this book is I'm gonna create a word count calendar for myself so that I am able to track the words in a way that tells me, here's how many words you have left. And here's it's that way that you track it where it says, here's how many words that you need to write per day in order to reach your deadline. So I know a lot of people use, it's called Pacemaker and stuff like that online. I'm thinking about hopping on one of those programs so that I'm not constantly fiddling with a spreadsheet, which is that's the normal way that I organize my word count. I think something like Pacemaker might be more helpful because it's already set up in the system. I don't have to do a lot of work. I just have to enter in my deadline and how many words I need to get done. So that's what I'm hoping to do. I'm also planning to prioritize writing every single day of the quarter. It's gonna be the first thing I do when I get to my office. Normally, I spend time doing emails and setting up my social media. And I think that might be what gets in the way of it. It kind of stunts my creative energy for the day. One of the tips about writing that I absolutely love is to when you're writing, end on something, don't end at the end of a scene. End with excitement for what you're gonna write the next day. So I'm hoping to do that. And then when I get into my office in the morning, I will be excited to jump into my project. So that is the first thing on my list that I did not get done. However, the second thing on my list, I did get done. And that was to and that was to record and post a YouTube video every single month. And I have done that. I think I have done 4 videos, even though I only needed to do 3. So I'm feeling very accomplished when it comes to my YouTube channel and the things that I was hoping to get done for YouTube. So I hope you are enjoying the content that I'm putting out there because I was excited to make it. The next item on my list, I kind of achieved it. I just didn't achieve it to the heights that I was hoping. And that is, I wanted to get in the habit of regularly scheduling Facebook ads. So I loathe Facebook ads. I loathe any type of ad system where I have to figure out someone else's algorithm in order to make it so readers find my books. And like, I realize that's part of the process. That is just what self-publishing looks like, and that's fine. But Facebook ads is the bane of my existence. And it was very important to me last quarter to get up a couple of Facebook ads. And I did. I got up 2. My intention had been to do 2 per month, where I put one up for 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks after that 2 weeks had passed, I would go back in and I would update it and optimize it, I guess, and then add another one. I really only did it twice, and then in February and March, I kind of fell off on doing it, but I did get it started, and that felt nice. So even though I didn't accomplish this to like the exceptional quality that I had hoped, I still got started. I got the ball rolling. It doesn't feel as scary anymore, even though it's annoying. So I'm gonna consider that a box ticked off. The next thing on my list was to release the second Hawthorne Vines book, which is called Sweet Escape, and that released February 4th. I was so pleased with the reception that it got. I was tagged more than I've ever been tagged in anything at any other time for any other book, and everything was so positive. Even now, I think it still has a 4.5 rating on Goodreads. People loved Vivian and Memphis, and that just feels so good as an author. It was a co-written project with myself and my friend Meredith, and we loved this storyline so much, and I think readers can feel that. So the release went well. I'm super proud of it. So that is definitely one achievement from this quarter that I was so proud of. I also wanted to do a monthly giveaway or sale, and I accomplished that as well. I did a couple of giveaways earlier on in the quarter, and then later in the quarter, I did a couple of sales. Both of those seemed to be really well received, so I was very pleased. 2 additional things that I did accomplish that I was so proud of. First is launching my store. I've talked a little bit about this already. I've always wanted to have a place where readers can buy signed books, and they can also get merch and apparel. And I figured it all out. I found a wonderful platform to put all my products on, and I'm so excited about the fact that it exists. And it took me months to do all the design work and get everything prepared. So to know that it exists and that readers have this ability to go and grab a Cedar Point pint glass, or pick up a special edition copy of a signed book, or grab a sweatshirt that says hopeful romantic on it, it makes me so pleased. So that one is quite the success from the previous quarter. The second thing I'm really proud of is, it's something that's only like 95% done, but I'm doing a signing exclusive this year. And
sorry, I don't understand.
Shush. Sorry. Anyways, I'm doing a signing exclusive this year. I have always wanted to do one, and I'm working with Y'all That Graphic. I love Kate. She is so talented, and I am so excited about what these books are gonna look like. I should be sharing the information about it in the next 2 weeks. And then the pre-order will be up and people will be able to grab their copies, and I'm so excited. There's the thunder. Another task that I got done this quarter was I wanted to redo all of the interiors for my ebooks and my paperbacks. Something that we have to think about as authors is the front matter and the back matter of all of our books. And after a while, it becomes stale, meaning that the information isn't accurate anymore. And taking the time to go in and update the files takes forever. I also wanted to include trigger warnings as something for people to look for if they're interested. And so I wanted to put a link to where you can find any trigger warning for any of my books on my website. at the front of all of my books in both ebook and paperback. And I wanted to update the back matter of my paperbacks so that it has a link to where you can find my books instead of having a full list of all of my books. That just keeps it a little more evergreen instead of in the paperback having it be like, here's this book, this book, this book. There might be 4 more books in that series, and if it's not updated, readers won't realize that. So I've just nixed that entirely, and instead...
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
Why do I keep getting interrupted by Alexa? Anyway, the plan was just to make it more evergreen, something where I don't have to update the list of books at the back of my paperbacks every single time I have a release. And I accomplished that, so check mark. I also got my 2025 signing pre-order form set up. That was a big thing for me. In the past, I have always done it on Google Forms, and people told me what they wanted, and then I would separately bill them through PayPal. It was a little frustrating because sometimes people would submit, and then I would send the invoice and they wouldn't pay, which I get it. If you don't want the books, you shouldn't have to pay for the books, no problem. But it feels easier if you just pay at checkout rather than me having to invoice you. So I used a company called Beventi, which is pretty popular right now amongst authors for pre-order forms, and I have been so pleased. I have had multiple pre-orders for my signings coming up this summer, and I am so excited because I literally just told it, download all my books from Amazon as my products. And then I bundled things together and gave discounts. Like, it has all these super amazing functions. So if you're an author and you're thinking about setting up a pre-order form for a book signing, I highly recommend Beventi. It has just taken so much of the headache away, and I've been really pleased. I had intended to do more prep for my signings apart from the pre-order form. I changed my logo recently and I need a new banner. I was hoping to get a new tablecloth and new swag for my upcoming signings, and I didn't do any of that work. So that is something that has been bumped to Q2, and I have to get it done because my first signing of the year is at the end of June. It's at the end of Q2. So there's no way this can be bumped again. And I can't even use my old banner because it broke when we were in Scotland and we threw it away. So it's not a ton of work that I need to get done, but it is going to be important. And I think that I procrastinated it this quarter because it felt like something that could be done next quarter. And that's not a great feeling because it means that I did have the time to get it done and I just chose not to do it. A couple of other things that I didn't do that I had wanted to do. I really wanted to do A+ content on my Amazon pages. I had hoped to set up a newsletter journey for anybody who subscribed to my newsletter. And I wanted to recover a series that has kind of looked the same for a long time and might need a little bit more attention. Realistically, these projects, maybe I could have gotten them done, but I think I just made a mistake on adding them to my project list in the first place. And that's something I'm trying to correct in Q2, is not put more on my plate than I can really actually digest. So even though those were things that I thought I'd be able to accomplish last quarter, not all of them have made it onto my Q2 list because I'm trying to be more selective about the projects I want to complete. The final 2 things that I wanted to get done, I got done, and that is I sent a newsletter every single week, and I sent out a monthly newsletter for Georgia Romance Writers, which is a professional organization that I'm a part of, and I am their newsletter coordinator, and I schedule their monthly newsletters. So those I hit out of the park. It was super simple. I was able to just get them all done. So that felt good as well. So when I'm talking about all the things that I was hoping to get done, I'm realizing how long this list of tasks actually is. And that's some of why I struggle to get everything done every quarter, because I'm always so sure that I can get so many things done. And then really, I can only get a couple of those things done. In summation, let's go over it again. The things that I did not get done were finishing the first draft of Hawthorne Vines, getting all of my signing prep organized, my newsletter journey, my A+ content, and recovering a book series. What I did get done was posting some Facebook ads, posting to YouTube, doing a monthly sale and giveaway, releasing a book, getting my signing exclusive set up, launching my store, updating all of my book interiors, setting up my 2025 pre-order form, and getting out all of my newsletters. I mean, I have a lot to be proud of for this quarter. I think the most difficult realization that I've had recently is that I'm not feeling super motivated to write right now. And some of that is because I'm going through some health stuff. And some of it is because I'm not always motivated to write. Last year I went on a writing retreat and I had somebody describe to me my writing style in a way I had never heard before. It's called being a phoenix writer. And if you know anything about phoenix birds, they burst into flames and then they crumple into ashes and then they're reborn again. And then they burst into flames and then they crumple into ashes. It's like, cyclical. And I've always wished I was a person who wrote every single day. And I have been highly critical of myself for the fact that I cannot seem to dedicate myself to writing every single day. But when I set a deadline, a hard deadline, when I have to work with an editor or another author, I always meet that deadline to the point of injuring myself. Okay, that's being a little dramatic. I don't actually injure myself, but I push myself really, really hard, and that's me bursting into flames. I write every single day, sometimes for 10 hours. I'll write 10 and 12,000 words in a day. It all comes pouring out of me, and then I collapse when I'm done. The thing I'm trying to come to grips with is the fact that I might not ever be the writer who will write every single day. Maybe my creativity comes in bursts like that. Maybe when it comes to creating stories, I have to do it in those chunks in order for it to sound like my voice. Because during the times when I force myself to write every single day, when I'm not in the right headspace for it, I end up having to rewrite those words anyway because they don't feel right. They don't feel like me. So that's where I'm at when it comes to my biggest frustration from quarter one, which is not finishing the book. And I'm hopeful that quarter two is going to find me in the space where I can burst into flames. All right, everyone. I just wanted to put together a quick little video to talk a little bit about my successes and misses from quarter one. I hope you enjoyed going over the list with me. If you're working on any projects like I am and you have any recommendations for resources or a way that you approach something that makes you more likely to be successful, please share that in the comments. I am always looking for new ways to do things that will make me a better, more efficient worker. All right, everyone, that is it for me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you subscribe so that you can be notified when I have future videos coming out. If you have any comments or any thoughts, feel free to drop those below and I'll make sure to get back to you. I hope you have a wonderful day and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Okay, so just a little fair warning. Was that? I don't know if you can hear that on the camera. I think I just saw the lightning actually strike outside my window. That was very funny.